two trades this week. Both missed my pips. $0 made, and honestly, it was the best week I've had in a while. First setup was on USD CAD. It was going to be a beautiful bearish entry, but I missed it by 2.5 pips. The second trade was on Euro USD. This time I was tagged in, watched price nearly hit my stop loss before clawing back into profit. But then I missed my first take profit by just a few ticks. I didn't chase either one. Let me show you why that matters. Let's jump into the chart. All right, we are on USD CAD, as we can see up here on the 15-minute chart. This trade is one of two that I'm going to go over with you here. First, let's just see where we are. As you can see on this indicator that I'm using, we are bearish on the 15-minute chart. And so our swing high is here, and our swing low is down here. And so I've run the Fibonacci retracement tool on the trading zone, and we can see that we've already passed the 50% line. So we've already tapped into the premium area of this bearish lead. What we're looking at here now is Asia in blue and then London in green. New York session has started right here. And we can see that when we push price forward, we get the 15-minute order block that's created right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to mark that out real quick for ourselves, just like that. Once price enters that area, what we're going to do is drop down to the 1 minute, just like that, to see what kind of price action we get. Now here we can see the fractal price action that's happening as we enter this point of interest. If price is able to break below this level, it turns from a bullish order flow back to a bearish order flow. And so we're just going to wait it out at this point to see what happens. Eventually we do get the move. And now this is where trading discipline matters. If I drop back to the 15-minute, what I do for my trade setups is I'll go short here because you want to be in alignment with the 15-minute order flow, which we identified right here. The way I set up the trade is I'll put my stops at the high of the current range, and I'll add on a ATR buffer, which if we look at the bottom right corner here is 59. So what I typically do is I'll add 59 to 88, which will give me 147. I'll move my stop to 147, and then I'll place my take profit in an area that makes sense, which is right here at the end of the week low that we expect to be taken in a bearish trend. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to take a 1.4 hour setup. What I do is I'll move my entry to enable a 5-hour setup, and I'll place that right here. So now I have a 5-hour setup with a stop placement that makes sense and a take profit that also makes sense. Now here's where it gets interesting. As I play price forward, you can see that price does come back to my entry, but immediately reverses. I end up missing this trade by 2.5 pips. Now, a couple of years ago, I would have chased this price action back down as it moved away from me. But I'm learning that trades come and go, and you can't chase price because it could easily reverse on you. Now, the part that made this trade even tougher to swallow was that as we entered overnight hours, the Asia session trading activity completely tanked, and my take profit would have been hit. My thesis was right in that lower prices were inevitable. I just didn't get tagged in by the smallest of margins here. Now, the second trade happened on Euro USD. We're on the 15-minute chart, but this time our order flow is bullish, as you can see in the top right. What we're targeting here is for price to take these equal lows down here and then give some type of market structure shift indicating higher prices in accordance with 15-minute order flow. If we play price forward, we finally get that mitigation around 9 a.m. Eastern. It's at this point that I drop down to the 1 minute to find my entry. What I need to see is for price to break this bearish order flow that we see on the 1 minute. I'm going to play price forward so that you can see the price action as time goes through. As you can see, we're making lower highs and lower lows until eventually we do break this high up here and create a change of character on the 1 minute chart, just like this. Now, I'll align price a little bit to the point of change of character just to make this easy for us. If I drop to the 15-minute, I'm going to set up my trade in the same way I just did before. This is the trade setup I end up with. My stop loss is informed by the ATR in the bottom right corner, and then my take profits align with the highs of Asia, London, and New York. My first partial take profit was actually on this line right here representing New York current day high. So as we play price forward, we see that I get tagged in with an aggressive down candle that almost stops me out. So my ATR saves me. But as we move forward, price barely approaches my first partial take profit area right here. Now, I was running an error at the time, but it didn't matter. We had a sell stop order right here at New York present day high. And of course, didn't get tagged in, and price ultimately ended up coming right back to my entry. Now, I did move my stops to break even. So when price eventually came all the way back to my entry, I didn't lose any money. But it was very frustrating to see my first take profit missed by the smallest of margins again. But I had the discipline to protect myself by moving my stops to break even. Here's the thing nobody tells you about trading. The wins that matter most aren't always the ones that hit your take profit. This week, I made $0, but I didn't give back my account either. I followed my plan on both trades. I let the trades come to me instead of chasing. And when Euro USD didn't follow through, I moved to break even instead of hoping. That's the real edge for me. Not necessarily the strategy, not the entry model. It's the discipline to walk away from a trade that didn't trigger and the discipline to protect yourself when one did. If you're struggling with the psychology side of this, the chasing, the FOMO, the reluctance to go to break even, you're not alone. That's the part I'm documenting. The process, not always the profit. If this resonated with you, then drop a comment. Have you ever missed a trade by pips? I'd love to hear the story. Subscribe if you want to follow the journey. Backtesting logs and trade recaps every week. No hype, just the data and the discipline. If you'd like to see another video similar to this one, then check out this video right here. I'll see you there.